Probably it's a strange environment. We go from one extreme to the other.
We have droughts, we have floods, we have very bad financial times, but in a way I wouldn't swap it for anything.
I've been here since 1947 and I've seen many droughts and many floods in that time. Charleville will always have floods and droughts. But the 1990 was the worst experience of the flood because of lack of warning.
Very much for us it's about early warning. Unfortunately, the town was built in a floodplain, so we are always susceptible for flooding. Floods today are very unpredictable, they're getting more severe, so it's being proactive rather than reactive. It's very much about trying to gauge the amount of water or the level of the flood that's likely to hit our community.
The Flood Warning Gauge Network is a series of pieces of infrastructure that are both manual and also automatic. They provide that necessary early warning. They are the catalyst for action. Back in 2015, the QRA undertook what we call Level 2 flood mapping. That was flood mapping that was reasonably basic, but it provided that necessary understanding of what major floods will do in communities such as this. What we found from that study is that a lot of the flood warning gauges were not understood. People didn't know where they were, they didn't know who owned them, they certainly didn't know who maintained them. And we found that as a result of that lack of knowledge, then people really didn't understand the necessary risks or what the warnings meant.
My family have probably been on the land in the Cunnamulla, Wyandra, Charleville areas, probably into the 150 years at least.
Our really old property owners are the ones that we rely on. They've already been through floods before. They can anticipate for us what's actually coming down, but what's happened over the years with the declining community, we've lost a lot of those older residents. We have a lot of new managers coming in, aren't aware of the circumstances of previous history and aren't able to give us that information. So it's really important that we have that network well above us that lets us know exactly what we're likely to achieve further downstream.
One of the things that the QRA have done is we've worked with the review of the gauge network. We're actually seeing opportunities all of the time that will see improvements to the network, but also working closely with those partners of ours in local authorities, dam owners, natural resources and mines and energy, all of the different stakeholders. And what we try and do is we try and bring that together.
We do a lot of flood rescue training, flood boat training, flood operator training. It's been prepared, it's been ready for whatever needs to happen or our response during flood.
This is very much a partnership approach. Councils play an enormous role because they are the first responders. But what also needs to be understood is that we've got many players in this game. The Bureau play a vital role. Other agencies play a vital role as well. The benefits of these councils working together is that they absolutely understand that they sit within a greater catchment.
We're very much with this particular project looking at a catchment level, not as a council level, where we've been very keen to work with other partners and our other communities further south and further north of us to ensure that we all get that benefit of the early warning and to assure us that we've got, SES well trained, we've got our community prepared and we're ready for anything that may happen. So it's very much about a partnership and it's very much about working collaboratively together.
The QRA continues to work with all 77 local authorities. People are quite comfortable in actually talking at the catchment level. And I don't think it's too big a stretch to then start a conversation around how we might be able to work more efficiently and more effectively together to reduce costs, but also to improve the quality of the service.
I feel quite honoured to play a part in the warning systems.
If anybody wants to come to a town that is very friendly, come to Charleville. It's a lovely town to live in.
It's really about the community working together for the community.